Well, good afternoon, Denise. Hey, everybody. Jeremy coming to you from RVDogVentures.com inside the motorhome this afternoon. It's Memorial Day, and we're home from the weekend. Got home this morning and wanted to share a bit of a cautionary tale with you. So let's have a little story time, folks. So this weekend, we went to watch our friend race, actually 2 nights, Friday and Saturday night, which was fun. He won both nights, so congratulations to him on that. And wanted to tell you a little bit of a story. So Saturday night, typically, actually always lately, what happens is I go into the races, and Tanya likes to stay out in the motorhome with the dogs and watch TV and draw and just kind of relax. Going to the races isn't her cup of tea, sitting in the motorhome right in this spot actually, and drawing is. And so it gives us an opportunity to both do what we would like to be able to do. So anyways, Saturday night I'm at the races, and Tanya's here in the motorhome. And during the races, it was between races, I came out just to check on everybody, see how things were going. And Tanya said, well, there's a bit of a smell in the motorhome, and we couldn't quite figure out what it was. Eventually we said, it must be this garbage. So I grabbed a bag of garbage and I took it out, and about 15 minutes later I get a text from her, and she says that the smell is still there. And so I'm thinking through, and the only thing that I can come up with is a little bit earlier we had noticed that the stuff that we had in the freezer hadn't really stayed frozen. And so the only thing I could think of was maybe we're not level, and maybe something's going on with the ammonia in the fridge. So I just told her, turn the fridge off and see if that does anything. And I didn't hear back from her. Stayed in the races. The races went till almost midnight, and then our friend won. So we were celebrating a little bit in the pits, and then after that we went to the campfire at our other friend's motorhome. And about 2:15 in the morning, I walked back to the motorhome, and I open the door, and I'm just hit with this smell. And it immediately clicks with me. It's propane. And I look at the stove, and one of the burners is on. So the burner wasn't actually, there was no flame, but the burner was on. It was just turned, and I think it was down to low. I don't quite remember. But so immediately I turn it off, and I go back to the bedroom, and I wake Tanya up, and I check on her to make sure she's awake, and I check on the dogs to make sure everybody's still alive and awake, and I open all the windows and all the vents and make sure things are getting vented out. And then I was completely freaked out by what had happened. And we must have just bumped that at some point. We had cooked dinner, all the burners were off, and we must have bumped it at some point. And Tanya said she thought of it, but she looked and there was no flame. And I think back to all the things that were running through my head, what it could be. And if you every once in a while, and I think when you're camping, when you're in a camper, you get weird smells, right? And you start to think about, well, geez, is it the gray tank, or is it the toilet? It's the garbage. That's kind of what we came to. And I guess the moral of the story is, if you hear, and obviously this is a mistake that we'll never forget, that I'll never forget. I was pretty shaken up that night, but those things are easy to turn on. If you bump them, you lean into it just a little bit, they turn on real easy. And so the moral of the story is, if you smell something that smells like sewage, and you start going through your checklist, make sure that the propane, the stovetop, the oven is on that checklist, because it was that simple. And guys, I'm telling you, I mean, there was propane filling this motorhome for, I mean, it was probably 9 o'clock when I was in here, and it was 2 in the morning. So we're talking, we're talking 5 hours at least of a little bit of propane filling this up. Thankfully we didn't have the furnace going. Thankfully, it's probably lucky that I asked Tanya to turn the fridge off, because the flame from the LP. It's a scary deal, guys. So again, just a cautionary tale, a mistake that we made that could have been the ultimate mistake. So just add that to your checklist of things to be careful of things to check when you are when you're smell something in your motorhome. From now on, that's probably going to be the first thing we look at, because like I said, that was a scary moment. So I hope everybody had a safe and fun Memorial Day weekend. I know we did. Outside of this incident, we had a fantastic weekend. Got to spend some time with friends, spend some time with family, both sides of our family. It was a great weekend. So that's all I've got for today. Again, just be careful. We appreciate you guys following along. Glad that we're still here to be able to bring you some content. And again, thanks for following along. Thanks for giving us a thumbs up. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. If you haven't done so, please do that. We really appreciate it. Make sure to check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/RVDogVentures, and we're also on Twitter @RVDogVentures. Hope everybody's having a great day, and we'll talk with you soon.